Hey guys, I just wanted to pop in real quick and talk about something with this game that kind of got spurred on by a question I got the other night when I was playing with my friends. And the question was, I wonder if at around the holiday times, if they'll do like overlays or anything on the map and themes where, you get a Halloween time, a fall time, a Christmas, aspect to the map. And when I got asked that question, my initial reaction and the first thing that popped out of my mouth was just, I don't know if the game is going to be relevant by that time. And it got me really thinking, because it was like, wow, that's about a year from when it's released or so. And it's like, you see TikTok, you see YouTube, everywhere you look, pretty much there's always a constant, well, I shouldn't say constant, lately there's a it's losing its hype, it's losing its players, the game's dead. And I don't necessarily agree that the game is dead. I think that's more of the way that you play this game. I do see where people are saying the content isn't that great. There's not that much coming out. And, this is the brand new map. We're on Riven Tides. And it's a cool map. I like it. I think it looks good. I really like the beachcombing aspect. That's a cool little fun event. And truthfully, I could just walk on the beach for a while and try to see what I can find. And look for the new blueprints, which, luckily I've been able to find them all already. But that's the PvE side. I'm very into PvE. Haven't done it. I think I have a total of maybe eight knocks of other raiders, if that. And, I have fun in the game by doing this, but I can see where other people who, are only PvP players are, getting bored. And a lot of that boredom, well, I should say, I shouldn't say a lot of that boredom comes from PvP, but I would say a lot of the boredom and lack of things to do in the game has led a lot of people to being PvP. I see it a lot on TikTok and stuff. They're like, oh, I reached level 75, did the trophy systems, did all of the quests, blah blah blah. Now what do I do? And they get bored, so they go start doing PvP. And if that's what you want to do, that's up to you. I enjoy PvE. Other people say PvE is stupid and boring, which to each their own. But I can see why people who have done everything in the game turn to PvP, because not many people just want to run around looking, oh, let me see if I can find a blueprint, let me see if I can find something some good decent loot so I can increase my money, so I can have the freedom to buy things instead of always having to craft them. I was thinking, it's like, well, I think that's the inherent problem, is maybe it's not that there's a lack of content coming out. We do get content pretty much once a month. But, one thing I was kind of disappointed in this update is it's cool that we have this new event type thing with the, bringing home the boats to, get the merits. And then from those merits, you can get things. And that's cool. But I was kind of disappointed that there's no deck that came along with it. And it's like, well, why can't I have it where I can do this to get merits, but then I can also get work on my creds to get a new deck? And that whole cred thing is another thing that's I've been having issue. I don't know if anybody else have noticed it, but almost every time I go into a game and then I come back out, my creds go down. I've completed all the decks. I had the max creds at 800, and now I think I'm down to 100 somehow and I haven't even spent them on anything because I've completed the decks, but every time you go into a game, for some reason they go away. So that's a glitch that they need to fix, which I don't even know if they're aware of. But Embark, if you're watching this, which I highly doubt you are, but if you come across it, hey, fix your cred system because it's broken. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, it's like, where does the game go from here? One thing I would like them to see introduce and increase the replayability of the game is, I think they need to introduce some type of prestige system. So yes, they have the expedition, but for most casual players who are working towards their stuff and then finally reach, level 75, a lot of them aren't going to want to, the hours that they put into this, they're not going to want to go in and lose everything in a wipe, for an expedition, and then have to redo it all again just to get a few extra skill points, and your guns can ability and the repairability goes up a bit. I think it's the repairability. I don't think it's even durability. You can repair things. You get a little repair bonus. That's not a big incentive. That's why I've never done it. I've never done the expedition because I'm like, why am I going to lose all this and all the blueprints, all my guns, everything I have for what? To have a few extra skill points? It's like, yeah, if you do the expedition over and over again, those will definitely add up. But if you don't want to keep doing those over and over again, constantly losing your stuff, once you reach level 75, there's nothing really to do in the game. I'm PvE. My main goal that I've done for myself, my own little challenge, is to try to collect all the blueprints. I want to be able to say, okay, yep, I completed all the blueprints, I have them all, and that's my main goal. And that's all well and good for me, but not everybody's the same. Everybody plays video games differently, and that's where I think having a prestige system of some sort could be hugely beneficial to the game. And now I don't know exactly what that prestige system would look like. You could have it like the old Call of Duties, maybe, is one thing I was thinking, is where you've reached level 75, you prestige, and then you get, with each prestige you get, say, 5 extra stash slots, and an XP bonus or something to try to help you level up faster. And then, or you get to permanently unlock something like the older Call of Duties. You had a permanent unlock token. So it's like, okay, well, I don't want to lose all my blueprints, but if I do a prestige, I can permanently unlock a certain blueprint. So that way, if I always want to have the Bobcat blueprint or a Wolfpack blueprint or Tempest, whatever it is, I can permanently unlock that. And or I want to have a permanent upgrade to one of my workshops. Well, then I can do that with this this permanent upgrade, and then it gives you a reason to play more. It's like, okay, I got to 75, now I can permanently upgrade this, I can permanently unlock this, I have this more in my stash. So that way, if you have 10 prestige levels, you have all those abilities to 10 prestige each time you get an unlock token and 5 stash slots. So then you get 50 stash slots by the extra 50 stash slots at the end of your prestige, and 10 permanent unlocks. So it gives you something to work towards each time. It's like, okay, well, I know I can have this now. I'll be able to permanently unlock this. I think I'm gonna this first prestige, I'm gonna permanently unlock the gunsmith upgrade, so that way as I find blueprints I can upgrade that. I can craft the guns. and I'll be able to stash more so I can hold on to more materials, keep getting, grinding, getting all those materials so I can use my permanent unlock on the gunsmith. Something like that. Like, give us something to work towards, not just like cosmetics, like, how like the decks are, or this new little event. Don't get me wrong, I love those. I do enjoy those. It does give you something to work towards, but yeah. So like, that's one aspect that you could do is the permanent unlock token and stash, extra stash slots for the when you prestige. Or the other idea that I was talking to my friend about was like, what happens if like you would get a token or something that you can upgrade one weapon, just one single weapon up to a level 5. So it's not like, oh, if I have 5 Tempests, I can put all 5 Tempests up to a level 5. No, it's only one of those Tempests. And, that'll make it interesting because, like, okay, well, if somebody has a level 5 gun and they've prestige, it's like, okay, well, they've worked towards that. And, you could say, well, okay, well, what happens if you lose that level 5? Then you lose it. Like, if you're in PvE and you die to somebody and they take your gun, well, then now they have that, just like any other gun. But that's it. That's your one gun that you upgraded through that prestige. So it heightens the anxiety, the intensity around it. It's like, okay, do I really want to bring in this level 5 Tempest to Stella and hopefully I don't lose it, or do I not want to? Because that's it. That's my one thing for this prestige. And like, I don't know. I've probably just rambled this whole time and haven't made too much sense, but that's what I feel. It's just like, I like the game. I like what they've done overall, but there are shortcomings to it. And I think there's got to be, I think for this to last and be relevant, for the rest of the year, and have that longevity, something like Fortnite or when PUBG was big or anything like that, any one of those games, is having something to work towards. Give us some type of replayability, introduce a prestige system that rewards you for prestiging and going into things, and not just an expedition that's just, oh, here's your extra skill points and your buff and repairs for your weapons. Like, give us something more, and maybe like mini content throughout the month. It doesn't have to be a new map every time or a new map condition, but throw us a quick little event, like a new deck, or how this is kind of right now, where return with the boats and you get merits. We'll do that for each different map, where it's like, okay, return from Stella with so many, I don't know, you could put, like, since it's medical is a big thing on Stella, put it on there where it's just, you have to return with different types of medical equipment, like the boats. Put that in. Bird City was with the different ducks, something to that effect. But yeah, so that's just want to come on here, talk about that. Like I said, I'm sure I'm just rambling, not making much sense, but hopefully I made some sense to some people, and some of you guys found this interesting. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, where you think the game's going, what you would like to see, and we'll go from there. Maybe spur some more conversation about it. But yeah, all right, that's gonna be it for me, guys.